The Big Three got a big dose of power last year, led by league MVP Corey Maggette. Nancy Lieberman's squad went 7-1 en route to winning the Big Three title. The defending champions have not lost a step, cruising to a 3-1 start this year. Today, they'll take on the league's best, the undefeated Triplets, who have championship hopes of their own. It's week 5 in the Big Three, and we got a big one coming up. Triplets versus Power next. Welcome to a scorching hot Kansas City, Missouri. We're inside the Sprint Center. You're watching Big Three here on CBS as we take a look at the standings. Folks, these are two of the best teams in the league. The Triplets, the only undefeated team in the Big Three. Power, they're the reigning defending champions. They have just one loss. Hello, everyone. I'm Brian Custer alongside my partner, Jim Jackson. He played 15 years in the league, and Jim, at the midpoint of the season and probably the most compelling game of the season thus far, you got a team, the Triplets, only undefeated, taking on the reigning defending champs, who've got just one loss.
Yeah, and that one loss came as a result of injuries that happened in that game. If not, we could have seen two undefeated teams. But that being the case, so many storylines here. You're talking about two of the best coaches in the league. Now Catino wants to come in here while we're on TV.
Catino Mobley.
You know, two of the best players in the league, the reigning MVP, Corey Maggette, and then probably trending towards that direction, Joe Johnson, depending on what happens, could be the MVP this year. So a lot of storylines, a lot of intrigue. So let's get it on. I've been waiting for this.
Well, let's get right to the roster. They're brought to you by State Farm. Well, for Power, they've got Corey Maggette, the reigning MVP. Birdman, Chris Anderson, he had knee surgery, so he's out. But the Triplets, man, Joe Johnson has just been red hot. But when you talk about Power, it's all about Corey Maggette.
Well, coming back, he made his debut last week. You're talking about with the bang, the reigning MVP, 23 points, 14 rebounds. But, what he adds is size, the ability to stretch the defense, to get inside. More importantly, he draws the defense and now can make plays. When you have that many components, it's tough to stop him. Talking about a complete player, it's not ISO Joe for no reason. Just tearing the league up by storm right now, leading the league with 22 points. And again, he's the same way, 3-game winners, not afraid of the big shot. But like Corey Maggette, when you pay too much attention to him, he makes you pay.
Well, two of the best coaches in the league as well. Lisa Leslie, Hall of Famer, WNBA champion. She's won gold medals. Another Hall of Famer, Nancy Lieberman. She's the reigning Big Three Coach of the Year. It doesn't get any better than this, folks. And you talk about the rules of the Big Three. No game clock, but you got a 14-second shot clock. First team to 50 wins. You got to win by 2. First team to 25, we go to the half. We've been waiting for this with Jim Jackson.
You got the matchup, too, with Big Baby Davis and Al Jefferson. Great matchups across the board. I think both of those guys are integral components to balancing out these great guard and backcourt combination these teams have.
And Al Jefferson throws it away to Gennaro Pargo.
Yeah, a little miscommunication that time. And coming into this game, and even last week, we talked about the help that Joe needed early in the game. So it wouldn't just be on his shoulders, in particular in late game situations. And let's see if that can happen for Triplets early.
Here's Catino Mobley, shot blocked, and laid up and in by Al Jefferson.
You see the kind of the game plan a little bit with Catino is to get him on the post against Pargo. That time the backside help by Johnson took away that shot. Easy basket inside for the Triplets.
And if there's been any concern for the Triplets, even though they're unbeaten, it's been the slow starts. Here's Corey Maggette.
Well, you can't start off slow against this Power team because they have so many weapons, and once they get you down, they continue to press their foot on the pedal.
Pargo misses the follow-up. Here's Mobley. Mobley's working with a calf injury. Missed last week. Says he's about 70%. Maggette got it for 3.
patience that time by Cat by drawing the defense just enough to sink Joe Johnson down, cleared enough space for Maggette to catch and shoot.
Gennaro Pargo was 3 for 3 for threes in that first half last week, and he picks up where he left off, knocks down that jumper.
Yeah, that's key for, I think, the triplets, too, is that utilize that pick and roll. Pargo, find your sweet spot, whether that's 15 feet, 12 feet, pull up with confidence and knock it in.
Maggette faces, pull, got it. 6-4 our score. First team to 25. We go to the half. Two of the best teams in the Big 3. Here's Pargo now. Stolen by Maggette. And lays it up and in. Fast start for Corey Maggette. He's got all 8 points for power.
And that was just a soft pass coming back out by Pargo. Easy pickoff by Power. And I talked about it in our first game. You turn it over like that, the advantage is to the defensive team to score.
Good dish, Joe Johnson. He not only leads the league in scoring, but assists as well.
Because think about it, when he played at Phoenix too, he played point guard. At Brooklyn, he played point guard. So his ability at 6'8" to see over the defense and then put the ball on target.
Corey Maggette hit him with the hesitation. Oh my gosh.
Maggette with the hezzy.
All 10 points by Corey Maggette. 4-point lead for Power. Playing for supremacy in the Big 3. Here's Joe Johnson. In the lane. Misses. Al Jefferson. Follows it up. And they call a blocking call on Corey Maggette. So Al Jefferson will go to the line to shoot 1 for 2.
Yeah, 14 points, 10 rebounds last week. First double-double of the season. Again, I'm telling you, he takes so much more pressure off of Joe when he can anchor inside, get some easy layups, be effective in the pick and roll by putting the body on the defender that's guarding the ball handler. That just opens up the lane to have an advantage to get some baskets inside.
Big Baby clears the rebound. Here's Glenn Big Baby Davis. 5 on the shot clock. Drives. And give me the bucket. And 1. You don't want to get in front of that freight train. 6-point lead for the defending champ, thanks to Corey Maggette, who came out red hot for Power. It's the Big 3 here on CBS.
Big 3 basketball on CBS Sports is sponsored by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM. VH1 Basketball Wives. New season. Check your local listing. And by Toyota. Let's go places.
We're in Kansas City. Power taking on the Triplets. 12-6 our score here in the first half. Let's take a look at our Dove Men Plus Care career bio today on Corey Maggette, a versatile baller who has shown exceptional talent throughout his career. 14 seasons he played in the league. He's standing by with Brandon Tierney.
Looks like he should get a max contract because, you kidding me, he's in phenomenal shape. Now, they sagged off you, you hit a couple threes. They came up, you went right by him. You got the whole game going.
Well, I think overall, man, we really trying to play to Lisa Leslie against their team. She's a great coach. She's got awesome players in their team. I think our guys just really capitalize on the right things. And now, again, we want to come back there and continue to focus on our defense.
Well, speaking of great players, awesome players, Joe Johnson, really the first time he's looked at a rhythm this season. What are you guys doing against him?
Well, if people don't know about Joe Johnson, a 7-time All-Star, Joe Johnson is not how he starts, it's how he finishes. So for us, we got to be really conscious on what he's doing later on in the game instead of right now.
He is a closer. Thanks, Corey.
That's no problem, bro.
Appreciate you, buddy. Guys, back to you.
Absolutely, and Corey Maggette's right on the money. I remember a couple of weeks ago, he only had 2 points at the half. He ended with 24.
Well, because Joe is a feel-out type of person. The flow of the game early on, he may not go right at you. He wants to feel with the defense, the game flow, try to get other people involved, and then he'll pick and choose his spots until he really has to take over. So the key with the triplet is to keep the game close and in balance and allow Joe then to just be Joe.
6-point lead for Power, their largest of the game. Triplets only undefeated team in the league. Al Jefferson working on Big Baby. Spin, turns, no. Rebound, Cuttino Mobley. What a screen by Big Baby. Rolls to the basket and lays it in with the left hand.
And see, it's the footwork that you really don't understand. It was the screen and then the pivot that allowed his shoulders to point towards the basket and open up the space where his chest was there. Now he was open inside to receive that pass and finish.
Johnson to Jefferson. And Mobley clears the board. Here's the Cat. Shoots the three. Yes! Cuttino Mobley. And the defending champs looking strong here in the first half.
Well, it didn't seem like a lot, but just the exchange between Cat and Big Baby on the ball movement and then the decision of when to pass it, when to cut, when to come back is what made this Power team so difficult to defend last year and why they won a championship.
Power's made 7 of their last 8 field goals. Here's Pargo now. They go to Johnson. He loves that left side. Working on Maggette. Backs him down. Kick out. Pargo open 3. Missed it.
You got the shot you wanted that time. Pargo relocated right into the sightlines of Joe Johnson. Just not able to knock it in.
Cuttino Mobley. And he gets a bump from Jannero Pargo.
You'll go back to Cat's shot in the corner. It does look like his foot, look at it, was on the line. The officials or Lisa Leslie, and from that matter, didn't see it.
10-point lead. Mobley fouled on the shot. So now he'll go to the top of the key and he will shoot 1 for 3.
Right at the end, Alan Anderson just checking into the game. Oh yeah, easy call.
Here's Mobley. Knocks it down.
I got it.
Power now with 19 points. Again, first team to 25. We go to the half, Jim.
Well, Power looking like Power. Again, when they're healthy, they're still the team to beat. As you can see, so many dimensions of this team and so many players that can beat you in so many different ways. Can't take everything. You gotta pick and choose your poison, you know what I mean?
And Power on an 11-0 run. Here comes Big Baby.
You see the pass? It was in between the legs, I think, from Cat. Again, the patience off the pick and roll. Big Baby, put that big body. Watch the pass. Right in between Al Jefferson's legs. Oh, look at this. Get out the way. Joe Johnson, a big boy, too, now.
Yes, he is. Good steal. And Joe finally gets on the board and lays it in. Lead is 11 for Power. First team to 25. We go to the half. Mobley. And Alan Anderson got on the deck trying to get the steal. Cat misses badly. So Alan Anderson will inbound for the Triplets. Julian Wright will check in for Power.
Cat just came up short that time.
Ready, Duke?
Here's Joe Johnson. This is the side of the lane they want to keep him on. See, shoots a pullback. You know, Nancy Lieberman said, I looked at a number of tape. Joe Johnson shooting 68% from the left side of the floor, 29% from the right. We got to make him shoot jumpers from the right side.
Well, it's also, too, he's shooting 69% because he's able to get that big body in the lane on the left side, his left shoulder pointing to the rim, and now he's able to shoot that jump hook. So that's the big difference right there.
Al Jefferson lays it in. 11-point lead. Power just 4 points away from the half.
Yeah, if you're Triplets, you want to close this half with momentum. You want to get back in the game in this game. Feel good about yourself coming out in the second half.
Here's Big Baby. 2. He has to force it. Joe Johnson from the corner. Yes! He knocks down the triple. Lead is now 8.
Yeah, but again, sprint to the three-point line, get the ball out quick. Now you find yourself open and having advantage because the defense still hasn't recovered. Joe Johnson took advantage right there.
And Quentin Richardson on the block, doing work.
Again, another piece of the puzzle. Q can come in, stretch the defense, but then he also, size-wise, can put his body on the post and give you a bucket or 2 down low.
Here's Joe. Double team. Jefferson wide open. Back to Joe Johnson for 3. Side of the backboard. Q.
One of the few bad misses we'll see from Joe. Top of the backboard. Q happened to be in the right place, right time to get that rebound.
Michael Thompson checks in for Big Baby. Here's Joe. Working on Thompson. Thompson, the brother of Klay Thompson. Now Jefferson misses that jumper.
And you saw that time. It was Julian Wright that was more than willing to give that jump shot up to Jefferson off the double team.
Oh, Julian Wright getting tricky with the handles. And they go right into the post to Jefferson. Al spins, turns. That's barbecue chicken there.
It is, but he saw the defense and he eyed the middle, knew the baseline was open, and that's a tough shot again behind the backboard. But Big Al able to get that body down low, recognizing that he has a mismatch inside on Thompson right here. Eyes the defense. Okay, you gonna come double team? You think you are, but I got the baseline. Soft touch inside.
Well, tomorrow the day gets started with the Calvary Stampede. Then it's off to the courts. More Big 3 basketball followed by World Team Tennis. It's all right here on CBS. Nancy Lieberman coaching up her power squad. They've got an 8-point lead right now. Her team is 3-1. Trying to repeat. Power just 2 points away from the half. And the Triplets trying to scratch their way back here. Now listen, being down at the half is nothing new to the Triplets.
Yeah, but it's a matter of who you're down to and what the deficit is. It's a little bit different being down to Power if you end up being down, 8 to 10 points than it is some other teams in the league, because see Joe cutting into this lead a little bit more. It's more difficult because Power offensive threats, their ability to score in bunches is what separates them.
Here's Julian Wright, misses the layup. That could have sent it to the half. Allen Anderson now. Step back 3. Saved by Anderson. Chris Johnson rolls.
Like that.
Goes up and fouled by Michael Thompson.
And I like that play that time because Chris Johnson can, he can step back and shoot, pick and pop. But that time he recognized no one was under the basket. Rolled to the basket right here. Excellent pass, lead pass by Joe Johnson.
Here's Chris Johnson. And he knocks it down. Hey, the Triplets all of a sudden now on an 11-2 run. Keep in mind, this lead was double digits. It is now just 4.
Well, I think the second unit or the third unit right here, the reason why they got back in the game is they've been able to get stopped. Now Corey Maggette is back in to see if he can finish off the half.
He misses. Here's Joe Johnson. He's made a 4 before now. Game winner, in fact, last week. That's pass a little too strong for Johnson. Here's the cat. pull-up. Yes! And we go to the half as the defending champs up 25-19 on the Triplets.
And Cat getting into his sweet spot, recognizing that Johnson is in the lane. He has the size, but he couldn't recover in time to take that away from the Cat.
6-point lead for Power here at the end of the first half. 25-19 is our score. We're going to have more Big 3 basketball from Kansas City right after these messages. Hey, you want a little loving every single night? Love Island. It is here 5 nights a week, Monday through Friday, 8-7 Central on CBS. Here in Kansas City, you're watching the Big 3 and Power taking on the Triplets. 6-point lead for the defending champs, taking on the unbeaten Triplets. Brian Custer alongside Jim Jackson. And, Power got off to a really quick start. And then all of a sudden, Joe Johnson and the Triplets started chipping away there towards the end of the first half.
Well, you made it a point, and you talked about the struggles sometimes the Triplets have of starting slow. And that was the case against Power here in the first half. Maggette was off to a great start. Also, look at Coutinho Mobley knocking down shots. This is a complete team.
Yeah.
I mean, when they're healthy, as tough as anybody, but the Triplets did an excellent job kind of gaining some momentum back. Got some stops before the half. Joe got hot. Jefferson. Let's see if they can pull that momentum a little bit more and not dig themselves such a big hole at the beginning of the second half.
Well, Corey Maggette scored the first 10 points for Power, and of this game, he started off red hot.
Well, the ability to knock down the jump shot early opens up so many other things to your game. Enough space Joe Johnson gave him, so Maggette said, you know what, I'll just take it and make the best of it. And here, this is off of steal momentum. Now you get yourself a layup inside. So the reigning MVP with the hezzy right there doing any and everything he wanted to do in the first half.
Well, as you take a look at our star comparison here, Joe Johnson, he's the league leader in the Big 3. He's got 5 points. Corey Maggette, he has got 10. Power's got 5 different players who've scored for them. Their head coach, the Hall of Famer Nancy Lieberman. She's with our Hall of Famer, BT.
Hey, you got half of it right. The other half, Lady Magic. Get it right, because Lady Magic, but definitely Hall of Famer. All right, Coach, you guys obviously had a concerted defensive effort to slow down Joe. You jumped out to a 19-6 lead before he scored. Then he got a little loose. What happened? What changed?
He's a great player. He's going to score some baskets, and we'll continue to run what our strategy and what we think will be most effective.
Okay. Conversely, Corey got loose early, couple threes, couple of buckets. Then they changed things on him and put the clamps down. What did they do that you saw?
Well, I don't know if they put the clamps down, but we started trying to go into Glenn. We wanted to give our guys a breather. It's different combinations, but we're fine where we are.
Okay, get back to the bench. Thanks, Coach. There you go. There you go. Fine where they are, boys. You heard Lady Magic.
6-point lead for the defending champs. They come into this game at 3-1. The Triplets, the only unbeaten team right now in the Big 3.
I think it adds so much drama to, the first year it was kind of like Trilogy kind of dominating the league, going 10-0 last year. Power kind of was head and shoulders above everybody else, but this year with the Triplets adding a little intrigue to the mix of being a team that could push this Power team, but right now Power has the advantage.
Here's Maggette, misses that 3. Rebound, Joe Johnson. Working on Coutinho Mobley. Joe in the lane, step back, got it, Joe Johnson.
See, that was for you right there, Brian, by bringing up that stat that the right side of the court, he heard you. He immediately at the beginning of the second half went to the right side with a fadeaway inside.
Cat misses that 3. Joe Johnson snags the board. Doing it all right now for the Triplets. Here's Allen Anderson. Drive, strip, got it back and lays it in.
And I like that move because Allen kind of caught it on the move as Coutinho was, recovering on his closeout, Allen knew the baseline was open and took advantage of it.
2-point lead for Power. It's now tied up. This lead was 13 at one point in the first half.
Well, you figured Triplets would get back in the game. It's a reason why they were 4-0 coming into this week, and is that they could play. And again, by cutting the lead before they went into the half to more of a manageable deficit, now you get momentum in the second half. The game is tied.
Al Jefferson's got 10. Big Baby. Foul. They were down 6 at the half. All of a sudden tied up now, Jim.
Yeah, right side of the court, Brian. Joe able to knock it in, and then Coutinho with the swipe, but Allen Anderson able to stay with it and put in an easy 2.
By the way, point of clarification.
What?
Like I said, Joe Johnson.
No, I'm just saying, you brought up the point.
I'm just saying what the coaches said.
Shoot the messenger. The messenger gets shot, bro. You getting shot right now.
Here's Joe Johnson working on Maggette.
I like this matchup.
Oh, my goodness.
I like this matchup.
In the lane. Coutinho Mobley has it now. Here's Big Baby. Ball fake. Backs his way in. Turns.
Did you see the move?
Yes. Oh, follow that. Goes down and it's stripped. Here's Corey. Tied up at 25. First team to 50 wins. You got to win by 2. Al Jefferson down low. He'll go to the line and shoot 1 for 2.
And this is kind of game I envision from these two teams, that you would get some open shots early, but then defensively they would start to dig in because there's so many light matchups that, guys don't really have an advantage. But now you're starting to see a kind of a grind a little bit. And this is where the execution part, the moving, the ball movement, the cutting, not turning it over, giving up layups, that's where it's going to be held in a premium, that you don't make those kind of mistakes. But if you do, if you're the other team, you take advantage of your opponent's mistakes.
Big Al Jefferson, he's got 12 now to lead the Triplets. 2-point lead for the Triplets. We're down by as many as 13 in the first half. The Cat with 4 on the shot clock. Good defense by Allen Anderson. The runner got it! Coutinho Mobley.
The Cat had to work for that one.
He out there looking like Uncle Drew getting buckets.
He had to work for this. I mean, Allen Anderson, physical, got by Cat, kind of got away with the push-off, but it's the hardest 2 he scored all day.
Joe Johnson, the crossover. Turns, fires, yes! Oh, we're going one-on-one now.
You know what they say? Great D, better O. That's just what this was right here. Cat was there, and you made Joe take a tough fall-away shot. All you can do is pat him on the butt and say, good shot.
Knocks down the free throw, 3-point lead. The Triplets now with their largest lead. It's 3. Inside, Big Baby. Oh, look at that movement.
Big fella.
Let me tell you something. He must have jelly in them hips, because Jam don't shake like that. Look at the dexterity on this big man.
Dex, you're being nice. See, that's a good way to put that. He's agile, mobile, and contains a soft touch down low as well. Oh, tough pass right there. Even if you would have caught it, it was a lot of traffic right there anyway. Maybe one more dribble. Getty would have opened up the defense just a little bit more.
1-point lead here for the Triplets. Here's Joe. On his favorite side of the court. Turns, ball fake, goes up, and he'll go to the line.
Joe is so good. It's so tough not to go for that ball fake. You tell yourself, as soon as he gets it, I'm not going for the ball fake. I'm not going for the ball fake. And then guess what? You go for the ball fake. You know what I mean? Because it's tempting, because you want to be able to contest the shot knowing that Joe, if he turns, to his left shoulder on the baseline that he can make that shot.
3-point lead. Once again for the Triplets. Here's Corey Maggette. Mobley inside, yes.
I don't know how you got that off. I mean, it was Shrees. Allen Anderson was there. Taller Jefferson. Al Jefferson was there, and Cat.
See,
with his left
limp.
hand.
And how about the limp, though? He says his calf is only at about 70%.
Well, they're going to need Cat to be effective. I mean,
Joe Johnson misses that three. Here's Corey Maggette. He scored the first 10 points, but hasn't scored since. And he hears me.
I'm telling you, they listen to you, B. I'm telling you. As soon as you say something, they go in the opposite. They said, okay, you don't think I could do it? Oh, I haven't scored. You right. But here, nice little crossover. Jefferson late on the help. Corey Maggette back on the board.
He's got 12. Lead is just 1. And Maggette trying to tie this game up. Chris Johnson and Gennaro Pargo have checked back in for the Triplets.
Remember, Pargo early in the game was able to knock in a couple of nice little jump shots behind the arc, off the pick and roll.
And that free throw went off of Chris Johnson, so it's power basketball. Here's Maggette.
Oh, great D.
Oh, fantastic defense by Joe Johnson. Shot clock at 4.
And see, that's just tough because Joe in position, slaps it away, and then reaches. I don't know about that. I mean, I know Corey was off balance right there. But, you think about this, though. People don't understand. When Joe was, especially when I played in Phoenix, a lot of the defensive assignments were put on Joe on the opposing team's point guard because Steve wasn't as good of a defensive player, so Mike D'Antoni trusted Joe, even if he gave up a little speed, but his height and his strength and his knowledge of how to play D on a smaller opponent paid dividends.
Joe Johnson, step back fadeaway. Lead is now just 1 for Power. Johnson in double figures. Leads the Big 3 in scoring. Here's Julian Wright. Nice spin off of Pargo.
Yeah, Lisa Leslie can't stay with that matchup right there.
Power. 3-point lead over the unbeaten Triplets. It's the Big 3 here on CBS. Well, women's summer hoops action continues on CBS Sports Network when the WNBA returns on Wednesday, July 31st, as Atlanta squares off against Indiana. It's on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. We're in Kansas City, and this game has been all that we thought it would be. Two of the best teams in the league, the unbeaten Triplets, taking on the defending champions in Power, who are just 3-1. Power with a 3-point lead. 8 lead changes. Power, 6 of their last 7 they've made. And the Triplets, they made 5 of their last 6 thanks to Joe Johnson.
Well, you knew at one point Joe was going to feel the situation and begin to take over and impose his will. And we've been able to see that in the second half. But now he's finding his rhythm and spots, and it makes it tough. Now, here's where he's really effective. The defense is going to start to lean towards him, and then he'll be able to take care of his teammates.
He's the leading scorer in the league. He's no average Joe. He's with BT.
Yeah, we went from where is Joe to who's stopping Joe. The answer to the second question is nobody. Joe, pretty quiet to start. How do you balance trying to find your rhythm in a game but not forcing it?
Well, early, I try to, let other guys get involved in the game. But obviously the past 3 games, we gotten off a slow start. And then we have to turn it up and turn it on. So it's another game. It's going to be a grind game, an ugly game, but we got to somehow pull through.
We got the whole nation watching here, man. We want to know, you got that last second magic in the back pocket again or what, Joe?
Keep watching.
We're watching. Where are we going? We're going nowhere. Thanks, Joe.
Keep watching.
Keep watching. Joe Johnson averages 23 a game here in the Big 3. As Alan Anderson brings it in for the Triplets. Down by 3. Here's Joe. Pull up. Short. Rebound, Johnson. He misses the follow. Big Baby grabs the board.
Yeah, and that was a drawn-up play coming out of timeout by Lisa Leslie. Joe, I think, wanted to pass it to Johnson down low. When he took the shot because he saw him wide open, I think that hesitation kind of forced an uneven rhythm on his jump shot.
Big Baby, I have a seat. Quentin Richardson will check in for Power. Keep in mind, Birdman, ACL surgery on his knee.
And you talking about an energy player you're not having, and you see Johnson right there to square up. I mean, not having Chris Anderson, one, he was a great rim protector. Two, his energy and effort on the court keeping plays alive. But then third most important, he's a great teammate, man. In fact, you never complained about anything, just played hard.
Corey Maggette draws the foul. Birdman, second season for him here in the Big 3. Won a championship with LeBron James, Dwayne Wade with the Miami Heat. Had surgery just yesterday. Certainly send him our best wishes. Great guy.
Yeah, he was, did he call glass that time by Julian Wright?
Well, they tell me the banks are open here.
It's still open right now. You know, you go in, make a withdrawal real quick, put a deposit in there, but also along with Chris, what you missed with Chris Anderson not being there, you see a jump shot by Alan Anderson, last year's Defensive Player of the Year. So when you're talking about winning games, especially in late game situations or the minutes that he plays, he has an impact, especially on the defensive end of the court. Great play.
Julian Wright misses, follows his own shot. Takes it right to the cup. Julian Wright. 2-point lead for Power. First team to 50, we win it. You got to win by 2.
I like Julian Wright, his ability at his size to kind of attack off the dribble, but also showing a soft touch and shoot it from the outside, too.
Chris Johnson missed the turnaround. Wright. It's Wright. Energy off the bench. Julian Wright for Power.
And maybe he'll take that mantle and that role that Chris Anderson played in regards to your energy guy coming in, providing a spark. We saw the drive on the last play for Wright. This time, using his dribble to get into a rhythm shot, and Johnson commits the ultimate sin of fouling a shooter.
Looking to complete the three-point play is Julian Wright. Knocks it down. And Power now just 6 points away from victory.
I like this matchup. Two former teammates here with Q Rich and Joe Johnson.
Yeah, especially their days in Phoenix.
That's right.
Here's Joe. Drive. Off the glass. Count it.
Did you see, I mean, Joe surveyed and knew the defense on the right side was stacked, identified the baseline as the point of the attack. And again, the late help by Wright, because he couldn't really leave Al Jefferson because Al Jefferson was diving to the basket. So it kind of put him in an awkward situation. Do I go or do I stay? And by that hesitation, it gave Joe Johnson a chance to get to the basket.
2-point lead for Power. First team to 50, you win. You got to win by 2. Here's Corey Maggette. And he draws the foul on Alan Anderson.
Did they call it on the floor?
Here, Alan Anderson, he's calling. He says he used the forearm. Let's see.
Well, both got tangled up, but most of the time when you do that, the advantage is going to end up going towards the offensive player.
One.
Corey Maggette knocks down the free throw. Add 2 more points for Power. They're in the bonus, so they get the ball as well. They are 4 points away from Victory. Maggette. That one will be side out of bounds for Power.
Yeah, and this one here, again, part of the rule, too, at the end of the game is that once you get over 46 points, the next foul, unless you're actually shooting, even if you're in the penalty, the ball goes out on the side. And that's what the discussion was with the officials in Power.
Here's Corey Maggette. A 4 can win it. Here's Julian Wright. Spins, turns, shoots, off the glass, no. Triplets basketball.
And see, Power still has a couple fouls to give, which is good because anything going to the basket on the floor, you can afford to pick up a foul and not be in the penalty.
They go to Joe Johnson. Looks at the shot clock. Backs him down. Knocks away. 3 on the clock. Joe's got to force it. That's a shot clock violation.
How about the smart play by Big Baby Davis? He didn't commit too early, but he committed at the right time as the clock was going down. Look, waiting. Now go. Okay, now that threw the rhythm off. Joe couldn't see Al Jefferson open. Great play, heads-up play by Big Baby Davis.
Here's Maggette. The Big Baby, kick out, right for 3.
Foot on the line.
Foot on the line. Here's Joe Johnson now. Splits the double team. Wide open, Allen Anderson. Has money.
And I was going to say, B, better not play with these boys because Joe, you put him in a situation right there, you commit, he split the double team. Big time shot by Allen Anderson in the corner.
Here's Maggette. Fakes the pass, lays it up and in. Power now 2 points away from victory.
Now, Joe's been known to make big shots. Keep in mind, you got to win by 2.
He knocks down a 4.
Well, you know, and if he knocks down a 3,
here he goes.
Put yourself in the position.
Jefferson knocks it in.
Okay. Can you get triplets right now? And I know Lisa Leslie, the competitor she is, can we get a defensive stop to give our offense a chance?
Point game coming. The reigning MVP, Corey Maggette, pull up, head game over. Power wins it and gives the Triplets their first loss of the season.
Everything we expected between these two titans of the league. And here's the thing about it. At the end of the game, if Corey Maggette takes that shot and he beats you with that, it's really nothing you can do about it. What you don't want to give up is like a layup or a second shot.
You don't think this game means anything to these guys?
You better believe it does. Look at this. Allen Anderson in a good position, doesn't want to give up the drive. Corey steps inside that arc, gives up a long 2, but you don't, at this point, you don't want to get beat off the dribble. If your guy beats you with a jump shot over a contested hand, bro, it ain't really nothing you can do about it at all. That's just great offense right there.
Corey Maggette. And look at Nancy Lieberman. Lady Magic says, that's my MVP, as Power now 4-1, and the Triplets now 4-1 as well. We will be back with more. It's the Big 3 from KC here on CBS.